In the shadowed corridors of royal exile, whispers abound that our wayward prince, Harry, has drawn a line in the California sand, staunchly blocking his wife's long-rumored memoir in a desperate bid to salvage ties with his ailing father, King Charles III. Yet as Valentine's Day dawns with tales of emotional chasms and marital strains pulling them apart, their once glittering American dream teeters on the brink of financial ruin, burdened by mounting debts and a stardom that's flickering out like a forgotten Hollywood bulb. Good evening, and thank you for joining me in this candid exploration of the latest royal intrigue. After all, you and I both know these family dramas have a way of unfolding like a well-worn soap opera, don't we? Let's begin with the heart of the matter, shall we? A well-placed source within palace circles has let slip that Harry is putting his foot down, quite firmly it seems, over Meghan's desire to pen her own tell-all memoir. She's apparently eager to reclaim her narrative, as they say in those glossy self-help circles, spilling the unfiltered beans on everything from her brief stint as a working royal to the barrage of criticisms she's faced since decamping to Montecito. One can almost picture her at the keyboard, typing away with that trademark determination, aiming to set the record straight, or at least her version of it. But Harry, ever the conflicted son, sees red flags waving furiously. He's reportedly convinced that such a book would slam the door shut on any hope of reconciliation with King Charles, who's been battling health woes that have softened the edges of old grudges, at least from afar. You see, a source close to the inner circle confides that Harry's been pushing back with everything he's got, framing it as an ultimatum of sorts. Publish and perish the fragile bridge to Buckingham Palace, or hold off and perhaps open a path back to some semblance of family peace. It's a classic bind, isn't it? On one hand, Meghan's memoir could rake in the millions. Publishers have been circling like sharks, offering deals that would make even the most jaded among us raise an eyebrow. A longtime family acquaintance murmurs that she's viewing it as her chance to counter the endless tabloid barbs, to tell of the isolation, the scrutiny, and yes, perhaps even the triumphs she's claimed amid the chaos. But Harry? He's haunted by the fallout from his own literary bombshell, Spare, which aired enough dirty linen to keep the palace laundry spinning for years. That book, as we all recall with a wry smile, didn't exactly pave the way for heartfelt reunions over tea at Windsor. And speaking of reunions, the whispers from behind closed doors suggest King Charles has his own conditions for any olive branch. A source within palace circles hints at a brutal ultimatum extended during one of those rare, tense meetings. Something along the lines of no more public pot shots, no half and half out arrangements, and certainly no more lucrative deals that smack of commercializing the crown. Harry's been spotted making solo trips back to the UK, ostensibly for charity events. But those in the know say it's a quiet campaign to mend fences with his father, who's reportedly yearning to see more of his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet. Yet Meghan's reluctance to join him looms large, her aversion to returning to what she once called a toxic environment, creating ripples that threaten to capsize their shared boat. It's poignant, really. Harry pulling toward the misty shores of Britain, Meghan anchored firmly in the sun-soaked promise of California independence. Now, as we approach this Valentine's Day, a day meant for declarations of undying love, the irony couldn't be thicker. A source behind closed doors reveals an emotional distance that's reportedly widening between the pair, just when the calendar demands they play the part of besotted soulmates. Harry's growing homesickness, his desire to spend more time in the UK rebuilding bonds with King Charles and perhaps even Prince William, clashes head-on with Meghan's steadfast refusal. She's built a life here, launching her lifestyle brand as ever, with its carefully curated nods to romance and nostalgia, even timing promotions around this very holiday. But insiders murmur of heated arguments behind those Montecito gates. with Harry feeling torn between loyalty to his wife and the pull of his bloodline. One well-meaning staff member who's seen the inner workings up close confides that the strain is palpable. Separate schedules, diverging priorities, and that nagging sense of two people drifting on different currents. It's led to speculation of a marriage in crisis, with tabloids splashing headlines about serious emotional protests at a time when they should be toasting their love. How fitting, in a cynical sort of way, that Meghan's brand push for softness and sentiment comes amid reports of her own union fraying at the edges. Of course, no royal drama would be complete without the specter of money troubles casting its long shadow. A well-placed source paints a grim picture of their American dream souring into a financial nightmare, with debts piling up and their once bright stardom dimming faster than a sunset over the Pacific. Remember those blockbuster deals? The $100 million Netflix pact, the Spotify millions, they've either expired or cooled considerably, leaving the couple scrambling. Archewell, their foundation, has reported staggering losses, over $2.6 million in one filing alone, despite raising funds, with expenditures outpacing donations and grants. Staff turnover has been relentless, with whispers of a dictator in high heels, reducing grown professionals to tears. And now even high-profile allies like Tyler Perry are reportedly stepping back amid unpaid obligations and a $14 million Montecito debt that's triggering creditor concerns. It's a far cry from the triumphant exit they envisioned, isn't it? Harry's inheritance from the Queen Mother provided a cushion, some $10 million or so, but with a $9.5 million mortgage, annual security costs north of $2 million, and the upkeep of a sprawling estate, the math isn't adding up. A longtime family acquaintance shares that Harry's frustration is mounting. He's not landing the big money gigs he once did. His post-royal ventures like speaking engagements fetching far less than anticipated. Meghan's With Love Meghan series bombed on Netflix, failing to crack the top charts, and her brand launches have met ridicule rather than revenue. Insiders behind closed doors warn that without fresh income streams, they're downsizing, tightening belts, cutting staff, and facing the harsh reality that they can't live like a king and queen forever. The couple's net assets hover around $7.9 million for Archewell, but personal finances, that's where the real squeeze is felt, with property taxes alone devouring hundreds of thousands yearly. One can't help but sense a touch of schadenfreude in all this. After all, they chose to monetize their grievances, trading crowns for contracts, only to find the Hollywood machine as unforgiving as the palace press. Harry's spare curse, as some call it, lingers. He's still wrapped in past resentments, unable to fully reinvent himself in this land of reinvention, while Meghan pushes forward with entrepreneurial zeal that's yielding diminishing returns. A source close to palace circles muses that King Charles's health battles have shifted priorities, making Harry's reconciliation pleas more urgent. Yet the financial noose tightens, potentially forcing desperate moves like that blocked memoir. And let's not overlook the broader whispers, global ridicule for failed projects, a social divide where Harry's old military chums fade into the background, and Meghan's circle shrinks amid bullying allegations. It's created a toxic brew with reports of her mega meltdown, blaming everyone from Harry to staff for the downward spiral. As one well-meaning staff member puts it, the marriage teeters on the verge of total collapse, not from faded love, but from irreconcilable directions, Britain versus California, reconciliation versus revelation. In the end, dear viewers, this saga reminds us that even princes and duchesses aren't immune to the mundane woes of debt, distance, and dashed dreams. Harry's ultimatum over the memoir might preserve a sliver of royal goodwill, but at what cost to his own household? As Valentine's Day unfolds with its forced cheer, one wonders if they'll bridge their emotional gulf or watch it widen into an abyss. The American experiment, once so bold, now feels like a cautionary tale of ambition unchecked. Until next time, stay sharp. These stories have a habit of twisting just when you least expect it.